China's foreign minister is in the Philippines. The visit is aimed at strengthening bilateral ties. The timing of the visit is interesting. The Philippines is currently conducting its largest ever joint military exercises with the U.S. Both China and the U.S. are vying to increase influence over the Southeast Asian nation. Today, the Chinese minister Qin Gang held talks with his Philippine counterpart, Enrique Manalo. During the talks, Philippines' foreign minister said that differences between the two nations over the South China Sea are not the sum total of their bilateral ties, while Qin said that Beijing is ready to work with Manila to implement a consensus between the two countries and properly resolve differences.
Our leaders have agreed that our differences in the West Philippine Sea are not the sum total of our relations. These differences should not prevent us from seeking ways of managing them effectively, especially with respect to the enjoyment of rights of Filipinos, especially fishermen or fisherfolk, whose livelihood and general well-being are undermined by incidents and actions in the West Philippine Sea.
China is ready to work with the Philippines to truly implement the consensus between the presidents of our two countries, keep the general direction of China-Philippines relations steady, and maintain the overall picture of bilateral relations.
Qin Gang landed in Manila on Friday. China's Department of Foreign Affairs said that regional security issues of mutual concern are part of the discussions. Talks on strengthening cooperation in agriculture, trade, energy, among others, are also on the agenda. The Chinese minister is also scheduled to hold talks with the Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos. The experts say that Qin's visit has come at a crucial time as Manila has been moving closer to Washington. Moreover, both nations have long-standing differences due to the disputes in the South China Sea. Beijing claims almost the entire waterway as a part of its waters. It has deployed hundreds of vessels to patrol the waters and to occupy reefs. This has been strongly condemned by the Philippines and other nations near the South China Sea. US, too, is opposed to China's claims. Since last year, ties between Washington and Manila have grown significantly. In fact, President Marcos is set to meet his US counterpart Joe Biden next month. The two nations in recent months have agreed to restart the joint maritime patrols on the South China Sea. The US is even allowed to increase its presence of its troops in the country. Philippines shares a close proximity with Taiwan and its surrounding waters. Forging a partnership will allow the US to make the Philippines a key partner in the event of a conflict with China. Now Beijing is trying to reinstate friendly relations with Manila, which it had enjoyed when Rodrigo Durtete was in power. China Foreign Ministry says that Qin's visit builds upon the visit of the Philippines president to China in January. He and his counterpart Xi Jinping had agreed on a friendly handling of disputes. The Philippines has been delicately balancing relations with the US and China. Now, we were earlier joined by Don McLean-Gill, the Director for South and Southeast Asia at the Philippines Middle East Studies Association. Here's what he had to say on Qin Gang's visit.
Well, we have to understand that in terms of Manila, the aspect of foreign policy that we have right now, Manila has emphasized that it is willing to, of course, maintain open channels of communication with China in order to emphasize that it is necessary for both states to manage relations. But this does not mean that Manila will sit idly and allow China to really compromise its sovereignty and sovereign rights because of its assertive regional ambitions. So this is what any rational state would do. We have leveraged on our traditional alliance with our traditional security partner because no other country comes close in terms of providing security and, of course, collaborating in security. But at the same time, we have to understand that the alliance will not be the end for Manila, but rather a means to the end. So this means that the alliance would serve as a significant stepping stone for Manila to solidify and enhance its territorial defense capabilities, fast-track its military modernization program, and enhance its defense alliance, its defense networks. But this does not mean that Manila will engage in bloc politics or alliance politics in the context of the U.S.-China power competition. This was made clear when the National Security Council of the Philippines stated that we do not wish to meddle into the affairs of Taiwan. We will remain proactive, but however, we will continue to engage strategically with the United States and deepen our cooperation in areas of mutual concern and interest.
WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.